What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Early Morning PJ Podcast. Happy to bring you this episode from the confines of my own house. I'm back for Christmas break. Jacob is at
In
his
study.
house too. He's technically supposed to be in school right now, but I don't really know what the COVID situation is at Trinity, but I know that you guys are home virtually. So we're able to bring you guys this episode this week. Unfortunately, we're doing it on a Monday. So all of these, there's been a bunch of games already happened. So we'll kind of recap those as well as get into the Eagles game, which is tomorrow. I will actually be at that game. So without further ado, Jacob, let's kind of get into it.
All
Some of the
right.
headlines this week, obviously, there's been a lot of COVID problems going on throughout the league. Uh,
Especially the NBA. The NBA is insane. You
yeah,
got that.
the NBA right now and the NFL have really had a COVID outbreak amongst every single team, I think, honestly. I mean, the Sixers game last night was actually postponed due to COVID issues on both teams. And then obviously the Eagles game was supposed to be played yesterday, Sunday at 1 o'clock. And the COVID outbreak among the Washington football team led to the postponement of this game. And um, they're playing tomorrow instead. If you want my thoughts on it, honestly, it's pretty brief. It's BS. It's a horrible look for the league. To kind of, I mean, before the season even started, the NFL came out and said they weren't going to postpone any games. They weren't going to reschedule any games. If you had a COVID issue and you felt that you were like shorthanded, I guess, then you would have to forfeit. And I'm not going to sit here and say, like, oh, like, yeah, I wanted an easy win or blah, 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 because I don't. I didn't expect this to happen. I mean, nobody did. Like, you can't predict a COVID outbreak. Like, going into this game on, or going into this week, everybody thought that this game was going to be played at 1 o'clock on Sunday with both teams being at pretty much full strength. And that's not what happened. COVID hit Washington pretty hard. And I sympathize for them in a way because they did already have some previous injuries to some key players before the outbreak. And then they had 20 some players test positive for COVID. But at the same time, like, I don't know what your thoughts are on it, Jacob, but as an
I
Eagles
mean,
fan, like I know like it's kind of hard for you because you're not like a fan of either of these teams. But as an Eagles fan, like it's terrible. It's terrible to think about how much preparation that the Eagles have done for this week, right? And they've had to prep their bodies, stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot that goes into a full week of preparation for a game. And I mean, those guys work their ass off every single week to prepare and for them to have no issue. I mean, the Eagles had one positive COVID case to a key player, well, to a starter. And that was the only COVID case that they had on the team. And so they were, I mean, that just goes to show that they're taking care of what they need to do. And Washington has 20 guys test positive. I mean, that's not the Eagles' fault. They shouldn't have to be punished by now having to play 2 games in 5 days, 3 games in like 15 days, I think it is. Like that's just BS. And I don't know, man. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but
it's like a pretty fine line that you have to walk because, the Dolphins had some players, some key players on COVID. We had our top two running backs, Jalen Waddle, Javon Holland, but our game wasn't canceled. I wasn't asking for it to be postponed. I
exactly.
mean, obviously, if you have 20 COVID cases, it wouldn't even be like a football game at that point. I mean, Washington may as well forfeit. It really is a tough situation where there can't really be a winner from it. I mean, it just no matter what the resolution to it is, someone's always gonna like lose in this situation. So I don't mind them
I
postponing.
mean, the thing that got me, like the thing that was funny to me was the NFL came out and said on Friday that they were in talks with the Players Association, which consists of players from every team. So in what world or what Eagles spokesperson would go ask for this game to be fucking canceled or agree to it? You know what I'm saying? And that's how I know it was BS. Like they weren't talking to the Players Association at all. It was their decision. I mean, it was if they were really talking to the Players Association, whoever the Eagles spokesperson is for the Players Association would not agree to move this game. So they flat out lied about that. And I don't know.
I
Man.
mean, I don't know if you can say that. I mean, at the end of the day, the Players Association reps represent the players.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it consists of every team, like players from
yeah.
every team. So what Eagles spokesperson, what Eagles player is in that
Who is your
association?
spokesperson?
Huh?
Who is your spokesperson?
I have no idea, but it's one of the players. I
I'm
think.
trying to let me look up who it is so you can blame them.
I'm not blaming them because I know that they didn't agree to it. It's probably like Jason Kelsey.
Yeah,
Somebody
it
like
probably
that.
is.
But
It's,
anyways, I
it's
mean,
Rodney McLeod and it's Rodney McLeod.
uh,
I want to see who it is for the Dolphins. Hold on.
Christian Wilkins.
Who?
Christian Wilkins.
I don't think so. He's pretty he's a young buck, I guess.
Yeah. Jacoby Brissett, maybe.
Yeah, it could be. Dude, if I could find it. Holy crap. Hold on. It's probably like a special, like it's probably like Clayton Fedulum or something.
Devontae Parker. He's been there for a while.
Yeah, but he doesn't like care. Like, dude, I have to scroll so far in this article. Oh, Malcolm Jenkins is the vice president of it. That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Damn, how many vice presidents are there? Houston, Green Bay, Denver, Dallas.
Huh? Bro, hurry this up.
I'm trying to find it.
All right, I'll just keep
Oh, it is
talking.
Christian. It is Christian Wilkins.
Yeah, boy.
You know that.
I didn't. Isn't he your Walter Payton Man of the Year
No, that's
nominee?
Jerome Baker.
Oh,
Who's the Eagles?
Kelsey.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. So, with that being said, I got some game notes here for the Eagles game, and then we'll kind of recap the rest of the games that happened yesterday. And then we'll talk about the games that are happening today. There's 2 games tonight. Browns and Raiders play, and then the Monday night game, which is, I don't even know, honestly. Is it it's the Bears and the Vikings, I think.
Tonight?
Yeah. Yeah,
think
yeah. It's the Bears and Vikings. And then tomorrow is Rams, Seahawks, and Eagles, Washington. So
wait, when do the Browns and Raiders play?
Today at 5:00.
Oh, okay.
So I got some notes. The Eagles had a bye last week. So I took some notes, just kind of getting into this game. I called them the bye week notes. So obviously I wrote this when I thought this game was going to be played on Sunday. So Quez Watkins entered the COVID-19 protocols this past week, and he was just activated off that list yesterday. So if they played that game yesterday, he would not have played. They are starting to get healthier. Hurts is back. Steven Nelson got banged up. He's back. Sanders is back. Kelsey's back. Howard's back. Dickerson, I said he got banged up a couple weeks ago, but he just entered the COVID protocols yesterday. So he is out for tomorrow night's game, I believe. And then Brandon Brooks, I have a question mark there because Sirianni said that he could possibly return after the bye week. He kind of gave an update about him this past week and said he was progressing, but he's not there yet. He's not ready to play. But overall, I mean, this is a huge game tomorrow night. The Saints won last night against Tampa Bay, so the Saints now have the last playoff spot. And so if the Eagles win tomorrow night, the Eagles would have the last playoff spot because they have the tiebreaker over the Saints because they beat them head to head. So it's a huge game, man. I mean, for playoff implications, the Saints are starting to get hot at the right time down the stretch of the season.
The Niners are so hot, which annoys me.
Well, the Niners are hot, and honestly, I kind of have them as a lock right now to make the playoffs. So I that 7 seed is going to be. There's probably 4 teams that can realistically, like
you guys, Washington, Minnesota, and
the Saints. Yeah.
And the Saints.
The good thing for us is we have the easiest remaining schedule out of all 3 of the, or out of any of those teams, and the Eagles beat the Saints already head to head, so they have the tiebreaker there. Plus, we have yet to play Washington, so if we win tomorrow night, we'll have the tiebreaker against them, and we'll have Minnesota. I don't know how Minnesota is going to do. Honestly, they're so inconsistent.
Yeah, they're probably the weirdest team in football. Like, if we're being honest,
I honestly, like, I think I have them winning today, but I'm not sure. Like, that's how inconsistent they are. So yeah, I mean, we'll talk a little bit about what happened yesterday, Jacob. The Dolphins won their 6th game in a row now. They're in the playoff hunt. They're back in the playoff hunt. They're 7-7.
Yeah, started off 1-7, and the tables have turned.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that game was a game yesterday. The Jets went up 10-0. You guys stormed back, took the lead, and then it was kind of back and forth for the rest of the game. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, our schedule's been a lot easier, but we really screwed ourselves early season losing to teams like the Jags and the Falcons. Like, those are just games you have to win.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to be pulling for you next week. Y'all are traveling to New Orleans, right?
Yep.
So we'll be pulling for you next week. I'm kind of worried though, because the Saints have a very good defense and your offense is your Achilles heel. So
well, we'll see. Waddle's gonna take us to the promised land.
I don't even think y'all are gonna make the
playoffs. I'm not sure, but
I'm not sure y'all are gonna make the playoffs, if I'm being honest.
I mean, we have to win out.
You have to win out, and I mean, Pittsburgh's starting to win some games.
Pittsburgh won 1 game. They're on a 1 game.
Yeah, but Baltimore's up there. They're not even in the playoffs anymore. Baltimore fell out.
Crazy.
Yeah,
which is insane.
And I mean, that division is up for grabs, really.
Like,
I mean,
all 4 teams have a shot. AFC would make the playoffs in the NFC. Like,
I mean, yeah.
NFL's B League.
Well, the Ravens aren't like.
They've had so many injuries and COVID, and
they've had so many injuries, and I really don't know how good they really are, because they have yet to be able to play a full 4 quarters of football.
I mean, they were fairly healthy against the Dolphins, and we whooped them. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, like, they have yet to play a full 4 quarters. Yesterday, if they play 4 quarters of football, they win. If against the Steelers, if they play 4 quarters of football, they win that game. Like, they had the storm. They have some really huge comeback wins. They came back against the Colts, and there was another game that they came back down a lot too. But I don't know, man. I mean, and then they blow out the Chargers earlier in the season, who the Chargers have beaten the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are the hottest team in the league now. So it's
the Dolphins. The Dolphins have the second longest win streak in the league, and the first being the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be a fun stretch of the season here. I mean, it's both of our teams are kind of making a late playoff push. I'm excited.
If I'm being honest, my brutally honest prediction, I don't know if either of us make it. That's probably.
I'm a little more optimistic about us than you guys, because you guys have more like competition.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody.
If you guys win, we'll have the same record. But
I don't think the 7 seed, whoever gets to 7 seed in the NFC, is not going to finish better than 10-7. So, well, they can't because they already have 7 losses. I personally don't think anybody is going to finish better than 9-8. The best option, like the best opportunity for a team that do that is to finish 10-7 is the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles had the best opportunity to finish 10-7, just based off their strength.
I think if somehow the Dolphins finish 10-7, we make the playoffs, but I don't think that happens.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have a pretty tough remaining schedule, so.
Yeah, New Orleans, Tennessee, and New England. So
Yeah. It'll be fun, man. I'm excited. I mean, you got the AFC North now. 4 teams can realistically win that division. The
I wouldn't say
Bengals.
the Steelers. The Steelers aren't winning that. Like,
Well, I don't think the Steelers, but they could. Like, they're not out of it. But I mean, like, I mean, I don't know who's gonna win. Like, I don't know. I mean, even if the Browns, for as bad as the Browns have been these last couple of weeks, the Browns have an opportunity to win tonight and put themselves in first place in that division. Like, that's just crazy. And I mean, like this kind of happens to Pittsburgh every year. Like, they start winning. I mean, did you watch the game yesterday? Like, the Titans had 3 turnovers. The Titans had 3 turnovers in the matter of 10 plays, 10 offensive snaps, 3 turnovers. Like, that's just like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's another thing. The Dolphins got absolutely no help this week. I mean, the
Eagles didn't either.
The Colts beat the Patriots. The freaking Steelers beat the Titans. Like, those were both upsets.
Yeah.
Like,
and I mean, how do you think, like, I feel like the damn Saints the Saints don't even have a quarterback, and they went to Tampa Bay and beat Tom Brady. Like and shut him out too.
Like, the one time I cheer for the Patriots, they fucking lose. Like, it's just we're not being done any favors right now.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the Eagles. The Eagles are kind of a team that controls their own destiny, but you don't know how that's going to work out. Like, I am not very confident in us winning 4 games in a row. Like, I don't know how much confidence I have in that. And we would, if we don't win out, we're going to need some help to get in the playoffs. And for as unpredictable as the NFL has been this year, I don't know if you can count on another team to win a game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, the Lions beating the Cardinals. I mean,
exactly. That's a crazy win, bro. And good for them. I mean, good for Dan Campbell. Good for Jared Goff. Like, that was a huge win for that organization.
I don't know if anyone outside of the state of Michigan thought that was going to happen. Like,
yeah.
Maybe Paul Shook up in Connecticut. That's probably about it.
Honestly, bro, like, I don't know. Like, nobody thought that was
Yeah.
They were talking about, I mean, nobody was talking about how the Lions were going to win. Everybody was talking about how James Conner was going to score his 7th or his I don't even know what the record he could have broken a record yesterday for touchdowns in most consecutive games.
Oh. I don't think he did.
He didn't score yesterday, so everybody was talking about that, and nobody was talking about how the Lions could beat them, and they ended up fucking winning. So
yeah, good for the Lions. Yeah. Now the Jags have the first overall pick.
Yeah, exactly. Lions are trying to lose the damn first overall pick.
Well, I mean, there's as long as you have top 2, you basically have the first pick, because there's the way it's shaping.
I don't know. Like, I don't know where either of those teams could go with that pick.
They should both take Hutchinson and Thibodeau. But I mean, those are the best 2.
Hutchinson's probably going to be the number 1 pick.
I think there's a very real chance, yeah. It's either going to be him or Thibodeau. I mean, that's sort of like an obvious statement, but it's kind of hard to predict at this point.
A lot of Giants fans want Hutchinson, but he's not going to last that long.
I mean, they have 2 high first-round picks. If they trade up, you never know, but I don't think they should. They have a lot of needs, one of them being quarterback.
Yeah. All right, so I do have some keys to success for the Eagles game. I wasn't really expecting to have to do this because
it's Monday.
It's Monday, yeah. So, so here are my keys to success for the Eagles versus Washington football team. All right, on offense, I said to get Hurts easy completions early in the game. like they did with Gardner Minshew a couple weeks ago with against the Jets. I said to run the football. It opens up the play action game, which worked very well against the Jets a couple weeks ago. And the Washington's is without a bunch of their secondary players due to COVID. So, open up the play action game with a run game. I'm not necessarily like afraid of their front four. They have a very good front four, but I do think we should be able to run the ball. Landon Dickerson getting COVID is a huge hit, honestly. But before he got COVID, I would go as far as saying I would probably take our offensive line over their D line just because of how much experience we have and how good we've been running the football lately. But with Dickerson going out, you're going to have probably Sua Opeta and Nate Herbig at guard. I'm not too sure how comfortable I am with those two guys. Neither of them have started a game this year. So I'm a little nervous about them going against guys like Jonathan Allen. But we'll see what happens. I've said this before on this podcast, and I'll say it again. I mean, no matter how good or bad you're running the football throughout the game, you can't stop doing it because it opens up the rest of the playbook. It doesn't matter if you are picking up 5 yards per carry or negative 5 yards per carry. You have to continue to run the ball throughout the game, or you will be eaten alive. You'll turn into a one-dimensional offense, and teams will just pin their ears back and hit your quarterback every play. So you have to be able to run the football. And it starts up front. No matter who's up front, you have to be physical and knock the other guy's teeth out every fucking play. Like, that's just how it is. No matter who it is, no matter who you're going against, you have to be physical. I said utilize Hurts's legs. I guess they're probably going to use a spy. It usually would be Chase Young, but obviously he's out for the year. So I believe Cole Holcomb will probably spy Hurts, but I don't think he could keep up with Hurts. So I said nobody on Washington football team can run with Hurts, so utilize his legs. And then I said continue to feed the 2/3-headed monster in the backfield with Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard, who's back this week. I do have on here that Jonathan Allen might be out, but he is going to play. He was activated off the COVID list. And then I said to look for Devontae Smith to have a decent day. Fuller's out. Fuller and Cam Curl are their two corners. Both of them are out with COVID, I believe, unless Fuller can possibly test negative. But I think they're both going to be out. I would look for Devontae Smith to have a decent day. And then on defense, I wrote to get after Taylor Heineke or whoever the fucking other guy's name is. Allen is his last name. I forget his first name.
Kyle Allen, yeah.
It's funny because earlier in the week, both of those guys were on the COVID list. Neither of them were expected to play. And now both of them could possibly come off the COVID list and can play. Both of them could play. So you're going to see one of those two guys. Get after him. I don't care who it is. If it's Kyle Allen, you pin your ears back and go get him because he's a backup quarterback. I mean, you can't let a backup quarterback pick you apart because he has so much time in the pocket. Pin your ears after him. Go get him. If it's Taylor Heineke's coming into this game banged up. He took a bunch of hits last week against Dallas. Micah Parsons fucking laid his ass out, and he was really banged up after that hit. So he's coming off a really rough week in terms of overall how he played and overall injury. He's coming off a rough week, so hit him every play. Terry McLaurin is back this week. He left the game early last week with a concussion, but he's back. So I said that's Slay versus McLaurin, Terry McLaurin all day. Slay better travel with him. That's just how it should be. And then I said man cover 2. Do not get beat deep. Washington does have a tendency to take a couple deep shots throughout the game. Don't get beat deep. but at the same time, we are better in man coverage than we are in zone. And I trust Slay versus McLaurin and our other corners against their other receivers. Like I trust our guys in man coverage. So I would run man cover 2 with a too high safety look. You're probably not going to get beat deep. And I don't want to see soft zones because I don't think Heineke could. I don't have much faith in Taylor Heineke. I could be wrong. He has a lot of heart. I like that about him, but I don't think he has the ability to consistently have pinpoint accuracy. So don't give him a soft zone look and let him pick you apart with wide open receivers. Pressure him, press coverage, and make him have to make tough throws. Make him have to fit the ball into small windows. And then I said the forced takeaways. Antonio Gibson is a league leader when it comes to fumbles this year. So I said to punch the ball out of his hands. He has a fumbling issue this year. And then take away the run game with Gibson. He's been hot the last couple of weeks. They've been able to run the ball really well against him, or against. I don't know why I said that. They've been able to run the ball really well with him. So take him away, take away their run game, force Heineke or whoever's at quarterback to have to win the game themselves, or to have to make tight throws. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And then,
right.
Jacob, you have Washington.
I guess I'll do Washington. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I really haven't watched too much Washington football this year. But what I have noticed about them is that they really don't have many explosive weapons outside of Terry McLaurin. That's been an issue with their offense for years. I know quarterback's always been a need, but first and foremost, they're very one-dimensional on offense. And like you said, Gibson has a fumbling issue, so that really limits what he's able to do or what the coaches trust him to be able to do on offense. But I'm going to go ahead and say for this game to get Gibson the ball a lot more. There's always a chance that he puts it on the ground, but I think that's a risk you're willing to take because Terry McLaurin is just coming back from a concussion last week. Who knows if he's 100 or if he's playing every snap. Curtis Samuel's been hurt all year, really been a non-factor. And who else do they have besides him? I mean, Logan Thomas is out. They're really struggling to find offensive weapons. I mean,
Humphreys guy has emerged as one of their favorites.
Adam Humphreys, yeah, but is he going to light the world on fire? Exactly. I don't really think so. I expect Slay to mirror McLaurin the whole game. So just get Gibson the ball and pray he doesn't fumble, I guess, especially with Heineke likely out. And then defensively, I'd say stop the run game and throw some blitzes at them. Your secondary is probably going to struggle in this game regardless. So you may as well stop the run and force them to chuck it downfield, which probably, if we're being honest, could work because of all the injuries. And, Washington's secondary hasn't been good when they're healthy this year, really. So stop the run game, force Hurts to sit in the pocket and pick you apart. And I genuinely think that's their best chance because Washington has some good pass rushers. I mean, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, they have some good guys up the middle. Matt Ioannidis, he's good. Deron Payne, they have some good guys up front. So just force Hurts to get onto his second, third read. Cover Goddard up the middle. Don't let him just run the ball down your throat with Sanders or even with Hurts on a read option. Force Hurts to sit in the pocket and make a quarterback read to beat you. And I think if he beats you with his arm sitting in the pocket, dissecting your defense, I think you can live with that. I think that's something you can live with. I don't know.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about Hurts versus Minshew in terms of accuracy and stuff. And I'm just going to sit here right now and tell you that's BS. Jalen Hurts is 10 times better than Gardner Minshew. And there's a reason Gardner Minshew was literally traded from Jacksonville, right?
Yep.
So he won one game. Well, I guess he won 2 games in his career now, but he's won one game with Jacksonville. Like there's a reason for that. And Jalen Hurts is 10 times better than Gardner Minshew. I like Gardner Minshew. I like the positivity and the energy that he brings to the table. I just don't necessarily think he's the best option right now. He did play well against the Jets. I'll give him that. He won a game that they were supposed to win, but he went out and played really well. He was 20 of 25. He made the passes, made the throws he had to make. And a lot of that credit has to go to Sirianni for giving him a lot of open looks and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'll hats off to Minshew, but Hurts is better than him. So I guess we could go to the Monday night game, Jacob. Vikings and Bears, because that game hasn't been played yet. Huh?
I said, what team do you want if we're doing
I have the Vikings because
Okay.
they're away. So Vikings, keys to success versus Bears on offense. Continue to feed Dalvin Cook. He's coming off a really good week against Pittsburgh last week. And then they have nobody. The Bears defense is terrible. They have absolutely nobody that can cover Justin Jefferson. I think Adam Thielen's out again this week. But Justin Jefferson, I would expect him to continue to have good, I think he's going to have a good game tonight. And Cousins just needs to be accurate enough to get him the ball. I mean, Cousins missed a lot of open guys in that Steelers game a couple weeks ago. Justin Jefferson was wide open like three different times down the field, and he just flat out missed them, overthrows and stuff like that. And then I have to work Thielen back into the lineup, but he's not healthy, so he's not playing tonight. On defense, I said don't get beat deep by their speed. The Bears do have some speed at the wide receiver position. Darnell Mooney, Jakeem Grant, who came from Miami, and Allen Robinson actually had a decent game last week against Green Bay. So don't get beat deep by their speed. And then Spy Fields, eliminate his check down. I watched that Packers game last week, and Fields loves to check the ball down to David Montgomery. Take that check down away, force him to throw the ball downfield, and spy him so that he doesn't, get away with his feet. And then attack Fields with pressure. He has a tough time dissecting pressure this year. His offensive line isn't very good. So send pressure and force him to have to make throws under duress.
All right. For the Bears, offensively, feed Demont. Feed him. The Vikings aren't great up front. I mean, they have some good linebackers. They have what's his name? Daniil Hunter off the edge. But really, besides him, obviously Kendricks and Anthony Barr are very good linebackers. But really up front, I think you can pound the rock down their throat. That's really what Chicago – the one thing Chicago has done well on offense has been running the ball with Montgomery when they actually give him carries. But unfortunately for them, they get so far behind in games trying to chuck it all around that they can't really run the ball. And then the problem just builds on itself. So feed Demont. I mean, I guess Darrell Williams, get him the ball too. Get Darnell Mooney some yards short. I don't think there's a corner on the Vikings that can cover Darnell Mooney or Allen Robinson, despite Allen Robinson having, a very disappointing year. But there's still not a corner on the Vikings who can cover one of those Bears receivers. So offensively, I actually think that the Bears could be in pretty decent shape for this game, which is kind of surprising to say because they've been horrible all year. But just looking at the talent the Bears have compared to where the talent is on the Vikings defense, I think the Bears could have a decent outing offensively.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
And then defensively for the Bears, I have pretty much just limit the big plays. Minnesota's been known for big plays, whether that be to Thielen, whether that be to Jefferson, or most of the time what it is with Dalvin. Is Dalvin hurt?
No, he's hurt or he's playing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure. But just limit the big plays. I mean, the Minnesota offense is good. I think at least. They have talent all around. Even though Thielen's out, you got to limit those big plays. Force them to grind your defense down with, a screen pass to Dalvin for 5 yards instead of a 45-yard touchdown on it. Force them to throw a slant to Jefferson instead of a double move, slant and go. Just make the Vikings play conservative on offense, which is what they like to do, but you can't let big plays. Your offense is not built for big plays, so don't let their offense have any big plays, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you, bro.
Take down that poster. That poster's so ugly.
What?
That poster's so ugly.
Yes, sir. MVP of the league this year, dog. All right, so let's get into some game picks for tonight. I think the Raiders, that game is in Cleveland, I think. Raiders travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Jacob,
Raiders.
You say the Raiders?
I'm cheering for the Raiders.
I have the Raiders too because Baker Mayfield's out and Case Keenum is out. So they're on their third string quarterback. Huh?
Is it like Garrett Gilbert or something?
No, it's Nick Mullins from the Eagles. He played for the Eagles in the preseason. They cut him for Joe Flacco, who was traded. But yeah, I think the Raiders win this game just because of the fact that Cleveland doesn't have a quarterback. And then we have tonight the Vikings travel to Chicago to take on the Bears. Jacob?
I have the Vikings.
I had the Vikings too. And then tomorrow night we have a doubleheader. We have the Eagles and Washington travels to Philly to take on the Eagles.
I got the Eagles in that one.
I'm taking the Eagles too. And then I think it's at the Rams actually. So in LA, the Seahawks travel to the Rams to take on the Rams.
I got to take the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams as well. So I will be in attendance at the Eagles game tomorrow. Let's go.
Really?
Yeah, check this story out, bro. So I had no intention of going to this game or whatever. So the game gets moved. The game was postponed on Friday. So on Friday, the NFL came out and said they're postponing this game to Tuesday. So I was like, shit, man, like tickets are going to be really cheap or whatever. So I was talking to my dad about getting some or whatever. But I didn't I was just joking around with him. I was like, yo, tickets are really cheap. Like, you want to go to the game just as a joke. And then Saturday I woke up and he was like, yo, I just bid on some Eagles tickets. And I was like, what do you mean you just bid on Eagles tickets? And he was like, well, some guy on eBay was auctioning off two of his two season tickets, like his two tickets for the game. We are literally like, I'm going to say 10, 15 rows behind the Eagles locker room. Wow. They're really nice seats. And so we got those, and they're typically like 200 each, 250 each, 250 each. We got them for 180 each. And it was a steal. So the guy gave my dad the tickets, and we're going to the game tomorrow. So,
hey,
like,
how pissed are you?
And I'll also be when the Eagles travel to Washington in 2 weeks. It's New Year's weekend. I will be at that game as well in Washington. So.
Yeah, you love watching the Eagles versus the Washington, I guess.
Yeah, bro. Well, that game is. I actually have a suite for that game.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's my uncle's.
They
my
recruiting
uncle has the season tickets for Washington because he's a Steelers fan. he lives in Arlington, Virginia, because he works in that area in DC. He lives in Arlington, Virginia. So he bought Washington season tickets in a suite. So he gave, because they play the Eagles twice a year, or whatever. He's like, yo, when the Eagles come to town, do you guys want to go? And we were like, hell yeah, bro, we're going. So we have tickets to that game in a suite too. But yeah, bro, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for tomorrow's game.
How pissed are you gonna be if you're there and they lose?
I'll be really pissed. Realistically, they should not lose this game.
I agree.
The amount of COVID issues that Washington has, and I mean, if we're being honest, if both teams were at 100% strength here, I still think the Eagles are the better team.
So do I. Yeah.
So, and this is a home game. It's a division matchup, a lot of playoff implications. If you win, you're essentially in the playoffs for right now, for the time being. It's a huge game. And this is a must-win game, obviously. They are the better team. They should win this game. That's why I picked them. And
I don't know. I mean, if we're being honest, Washington definitely has the coaching advantage and the scheme advantage.
No doubt about that. But I think the Eagles have more talent on the roster.
I agree.
I think the Eagles are the better team. And especially with the COVID stuff that happened with Washington. Washington is now, I just read Brandon Scherf, the all-pro guard for Washington. He was just added to the COVID list about an hour ago.
Yikes.
So he's out for tomorrow's game. But with that being said, the Eagles are without a couple key players too. They really rely on Landon Dickerson, the rookie from Alabama. He's played pretty much every snap this year.
A pick which you bashed.
I did bash that pick. I was fucking pissed.
Yeah, I bashed Javon Holland a little bit. So we all think we know more. Yeah.
I mean,
and Javon Holland, for the record, has been a top 10 safety in the league this year.
I don't know what I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this draft this year, because there's really no way you can mess up 3 first rounders.
You have to get someone good. There's just no way.
I kind of feel a trade coming, honestly.
I kind of feel a quarterback coming.
No, I do think. Well, all right. Here's another thing, man. These next 4 games for Hurts are huge. If he wins these next 4 games and gets the Eagles into the playoffs, he will at least be here for another year next year. If he does not win these, if he shits the bed and does terrible these next 4 games, he will no longer be the quarterback next year. So it's really make or break for him. I would honestly, if he does terrible these next, I hope he does good, because if he gets us into the playoffs, I want him to be the quarterback next year. I think he's proved that he's talented enough to be the franchise quarterback. I just want him to go out and make the playoffs now, because if he can do that, his confidence will soar going into the next year. But I mean, at the same time, if he does horrible, I would not be opposed to trading one of those first round. One, I wouldn't trade 2, but at least one of those picks for either Russell Wilson or Watson.
I mean, you'd probably have to trade all 3 to get one of them, realistically.
A lot of people want Wilson. A lot of Eagles fans want Wilson. And I'll say this right now. For as bad of a year as Russell Wilson has had this year, I don't want him. I don't. He has been horrible this year. And I don't know how I can trust a guy like that who has more.
It does tank his trade value, though. You can get him for a lot less.
He got more talent on that offense than the Eagles have on their whole team. And he still can't he still is doing really, he's not having a good year this year. So I'm worried about, the dream draft would be.
Don't say it. Don't say it, because it's not. I know what you're going to say, and it's not going to happen. I don't know if you're getting either. The ship has sailed. Your highest pick is probably going to be the Dolphins pick, and it's going to be around 16.
I don't know, man.
I mean, you're not getting Hamilton at 16, and if you do, about 12 GMs should be fired.
The dream draft would be him, Chris Wilson, and I would
Chris
say
Wilson.
like
Lave or Garrett Wilson?
no, he's not going to be there. Yeah, Garrett Wilson. Sorry,
Garrett
Wilson.
A lot of people think Wilson's better than Olave. I don't know. I mean,
well, it's very close, and Wilson. Well, they're like almost the same size.
I think I think if you're the Eagles, you're happy with either. I mean,
yeah. And I would say, shit, like I don't even know, bro. I would have to go with like Linderbaum, maybe.
Linderbaum, I want Linderbaum really badly, but it's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen because he's not going to last.
He's not. He probably won't fall to the Niners pick. That's our pick. I would not be opposed to us trading up. Like I want Linderbaum so bad.
Like I don't even know what we need. Like I would not be. I mean, I guess we could trade that one pick. I would trade one pick.
I want Linderbaum, a linebacker, or a receiver. That's what I want.
I want Bobby Wagner in free agency, to be honest.
I want Teron Armstead in free agency. That's what I want.
If we can get Bobby Wagner, that's why I'm not really high on any of the linebackers in the draft. Plus, I think if we get Hamilton.
There's two good linebackers. I'll tell you that much.
If we get Hamilton. Hamilton could potentially like fall into like a Micah Parsons type player.
Yeah, especially in a 4-3.
So I think Hamilton could potentially end up playing like an outside linebacker type role. The Eagles do have some young talent at linebacker, but not like they need a vet that could come in and.
I think
that's
Hamilton.
Why I want Bobby Wagner.
I think Hamilton would probably play safety like early downs for like running downs, and then
the thing with Bobby Wagner is he is getting old. And he plays probably the toughest position in football. Middle linebacker is the toughest position physically on a player. And like I think if he was like that's why like safeties and quarterbacks play longer than linebackers do. But like I don't know, bro. I would not be opposed to getting somebody like him.
Yeah, the Dolphins are projected with like I think it's the most or second most cap for this upcoming year. So we better start spending it.
You got Jerome Baker. Is he a free agent?
Who?
Jerome Baker, is he under contract?
I think our only notable free agent is
Devontae Parker.
Gesicki.
And Parker.
Parker is?
Yeah. Because the Eagles I've read that the Eagles
I'm not sure if Parker's coming back. And Will Fuller definitely isn't. I would like to see Parker back. I've always been a sucker for Devontae Parker. He always breaks my heart because he never stays healthy. But when he's healthy, I mean, he had a great game against the Jets. And I know it's the Jets, but when he's healthy, man, he's legit. Especially him and Waddle healthy and active at the same time with Gesicki. I mean, that's a really good group of targets for, I don't know. If we don't bring back Parker, we have to replace him. That is mandatory. I'll say that much. We can't not re-sign him and then just do nothing about wide receiver. That is the worst case scenario. So, I don't know. Maybe he could go to Philly.
I don't know, bro. Well, they're going to need to get somebody like that.
That would make up for the time that he single-handedly won the game for us against you guys. That was a couple years ago.
I don't know what we're going to do, bro. There's almost no way you could fuck it up. But I don't know.
What'd you say?
I said there's almost no way you can mess it up, but I don't know.
The draft? Yeah.
With 3 first-round picks.
The Dolphins, I think Dolphins.
By the way, like Carson Wentz just sealed the deal for that first-round pick. He played enough snaps. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's nice. I mean, we all expected it to be a first-round pick anyways. It's not.
Well, I didn't because Wentz has been hurt every year.
You're lucky this is the one year he wasn't hurt.
I don't think he got hurt in his rookie year either. But ever since then, he has literally been hurt every year.
Yeah. The Dolphins have a first-round pick this year that's the Niners, and the next year we have our own and we have the Niners. So I think we made a good move by trading back up for Waddle. I mean, he's been our entire offense, and this isn't like a diss on Devontae Smith, but Waddle's better, and he
No,
fits
he's
our offense
not.
better.
No, he's
Bro,
not.
Waddle is top 10 in the league in receptions, like in the league.
He's statistically better, but that just, I mean, that you can't
He
really
is
like
better.
rely on that.
Jacoby Brissett has been his quarterback for a good part of the year.
He's not better.
Waddle is open every single.
So is Devontae Smith. Just because they don't throw him the ball doesn't mean that he's not better.
Dude, if they threw Waddle the ball as much as they threw Jamar Chase a freaking ball, he'd be breaking Justin Jefferson's records. That's all I'll say. Mark my words, by the end of the year, Waddle passes Jamar Chase. Statistically. Mark my words.
No way he does that.
Mark my words.
He's
I'm telling
not
you.
going to.
I'm telling you.
Thoughts and prayers to Teddy Bridgewater, man.
Thoughts and prayers to Donald Parham. Too.
And Parham,
It's
yeah.
hard to let him. I think Teddy was released from the hospital, though. I
That was
read
Parham. Parham was too.
that. Oh, he was? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's good news. So. Thoughts and prayers to the New Orleans Saints organization for what's about to happen to them on next Monday night in New Orleans.
I hope y'all beat him, honestly.
I don't know. Dream scenario is somehow we make the playoffs and the Niners don't, but it's probably going to be the opposite, realistically.
All right, you ready, bro? Yo, good work, bro. Yeah, send me like a Zoom link to Trinity, one of the classes, and I'll pop in.
You want Lindholm physics link? I'll send it to you.
No.
That's
Not
my only
that.
class left.
Oh, man, bro.
It's funny. She doesn't give a fuck. Like Evan Scott's on it. Like we dick around. You want to know what he does? He changes his like Zoom picture to like something random on his like Chromebook camera roll. Like he changed it. I forget what he was even doing. He'll change it to like old pictures of himself of him like going like this.
How do
It's
you
a
even do that?
I don't know. He just like knows how to do it. It's fucking weird. I'll send you the link. Please join. It'd be so funny.
I'm not fucking doing that.
Please.
Can you see like when I like do like reactions?
What do you mean?
Never mind.
Join.
All right.
You actually
All right,
will?
I'll catch you, bro. Yo, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.